Welcome to this half-yearly video series where I conclude upon the goals I had for the first half of this year, and I also set some new goals for the second half of this year. I have to tell you, things didn't quite go as planned, but without further ado, let's get into it.
Alright, welcome into screen sharing mode. So as usual, I publish these videos like twice a year, and the first half of these slides I have oriented towards the goals that I set out for the first half of 2017. So this is a follow-up on how I achieved those goals. And I can say already now that several things didn't quite go the way they were supposed to go. So you'll see that now when I give you my update on the scores. And then following these couple of results for H1, I will also tell you my goals for H2. And then let's see if I can make some goals that I'll be better at hitting. So, but let's get into this. So the first one is on the business side. So this fellow over here, he's supposed to be like a kind of a smiley. So he's like in between. It's not good, it's not bad. But I set myself a goal to master Facebook advertising. And in fact, I did buy a course from a best-selling author who teaches Facebook advertising. And I did go through most of it, but then he also said in the course that the real way to benefit from Facebook advertising is really when you have a whole box set that you can sell. So meaning I would need to have book 1, 2, and 3 of the Keystone Bone trilogy available as a box set. Because in that way you can of course discount a box set, and then thus advertising becomes much more efficient. So when I learned that, then I kind of bailed out of the Facebook advertising course. So I still have it and I still have access to it. I still intend to go back to it once I have the full trilogy done. But for now, it didn't quite make much sense. So actually, I kind of bailed out, I would say, I guess I could say. So that's why you have this not unhappy but not happy smiley man when it comes to Facebook advertising. The next one was about getting 200 plus Amazon reviews on Desolation, which is book 1 in the Keystone Bone trilogy. I guess I can say that I completely failed on this task. I have 14 Amazon reviews at the time of recording this video. And to be honest, I guess I've been a bit surprised on how difficult it actually is to get Amazon reviews on books. Apparently people after reading it don't really feel like leaving a review, so you really have to chase them up yourself. That said, 200 plus reviews was way too ambitious and unrealistic a goal for me to set in the first place. But yeah, as I said, I'm still surprised on how hard it is to drive Amazon reviews, but I guess that's just a fact of life then. Hey, and then a good one. So YouTube engagement, the comments versus view ratio should be above 0.5, and my result for H1 is 0.9%. So that is very good, almost double what I set out to do. So I'm very happy with that. I've added into the comments section how I calculate this stuff, so you can go and see there if you want. And then we have this kind of smiley face for the video quality, so meaning likes versus view ratio. Should be 4%. I ended up at 3.5% for the first half, so it's not too bad. But it's not quite where I would like the ratio to be in terms of likes versus the views. Oops, what happened there? Sorry. And then the next one is channel growth, so meaning views versus subscribers. So I should get 14% of views versus each subscriber, but first half ended at 10%, so it is really not where I want to be. Yeah, so I need to to do some thinking in terms of what it is that I need to do differently to drive more views, to also drive more likes on videos. So in fact, if you have any suggestions, do feel free to leave them down in the comment section below. I'll be curious and open-minded for any inputs there. On the craft side of things, I had a goal to read 10 books on the craft of writing, and actually I read 11 in the first half of 2017. I've listed them all in the comment section below for you, but that is a goal achieved. So the next one was about reading 2 fiction books, and you can see I did manage to read 2 fiction books in the first half. I know for many of you that is something that you can read in probably like 2 or 3 weeks, but as I've said in previous videos, I read incredibly slow, so 2 fiction books in half a year is actually pretty good for me. So that's accomplished, so that's good. I'm happy with that. So when it comes to writing, this is really also where I failed my goals in the first half. But first of all, I was supposed to write and publish Degradation, which I managed to do. So I'm very happy with that. And I've already set into book 3 of the Keystone Bone trilogy at the point of recording this. So that is a good. But brace yourself because it's gonna go downhill from here. So the first one is like an in-between one here. So I was supposed to write and publish a nonfiction book for authors on how to use Twitter. I have quite a lot of engagement on Twitter and actually have a well-working strategy for how to use Twitter. And while I did manage to get the book written, and it's also sent off to the editor at the point of recording here, but we are at the end of the first half now that I record this video, and I have not gotten it back from the editor yet. I've not had it through advanced reader teams yet, and we're still a fair way to go before I can actually publish the book. So yeah, the bulk of the work has been done, so that's why it's in between smiley, but all the publishing parts are still missing. So I'll get to that during second half here for sure. And then a complete and utter failure here, I'm sorry to say, but I was supposed to outline and get the first 20k words of book 3 written. We had a month out on vacation in February, the family and myself, where we went to New Zealand and had an absolutely fantastic holiday. But I guess I had overestimated how much I would get done, considering that I had to take that month out. So yeah, I was way behind the schedule. Even when we got back from vacation, when I got into April, May timeframe, I already knew that this wouldn't happen. So yeah, so this is what I'm doing now. So I will get book 3 completed. We're now moving in. You can see the headline changed now. So now we're talking second half of 2017. So this is now goals that we are talking about. And on the business side, this is now this is where I previously had a Facebook advertising stuff listed, but now that has been replaced by an Amazon advertising. So I've already dived well into Amazon advertising, and I quite like the fact that doing advertising on the platform itself, where people are purchasing books anyway, that really makes the let's say the road from seeing an ad to actually buying a book very, very short. So I'm fully into that, and I will do all I can to learn how to master this advertising here during the second half of this year. I'm getting a bit more modest here, you can see now, so I've lowered my expectations, and let's see if I can get up to 50 plus Amazon reviews on Desolation. I really hope so. But and hey, if you read the book, please go over and leave a review. It does help a lot. And then once I get the box sets done, I'll get back to that just in a moment. But once I get that done, then I do reinitiate the Facebook advertising. So that's also a goal I have. Let's dive into writing. So book 3, I already said this. I will release that during the second half. There is absolutely no doubt about that. And then the other part is then to create the box set with all 3 books in it, and it will of course be cheaper than buying each of the 3 books individually. And finally, I think this is probably one that most of you watching this or following this channel and subscribing to this channel will like the most. So I will write a non-fiction book on fantasy world building, and it's gonna be a complete step-by-step guide that takes you through everything you need to do in terms of building a fantasy world. So I've debated a bit with myself if I should actually have put write and publish on my goal sheet here. But in the end, I decided to stick with outline because I have a feeling that once I have to start documenting all my steps and how I go about things, it's gonna take longer than I think it's gonna take. Many of the things I do for world building is something I kind of do because I know how to do it, but transcribing that onto the page and actually explaining how to do it takes quite some more time than I anticipate. That's at least what I expect. So I settled myself with, okay, I want to get it outlined during the second half. Hopefully I should get into writing as well. So maybe next time I will be actually able to overperform a goal. That would be nice for a change. But let's see. So on YouTube, you will recognize these. I will keep my YouTube engagement on 0.5, the like ratio on 4%, and the views versus subscribers on 14%. But then I've added a single goal, or one additional goal here. So as you are fully aware, I have a Patreon running. And I have some people signed up on Patreon, and I really enjoy the ongoing communication we have there. There is a it's kind of like a Facebook group, but only for people subscribing. So we have our own group there that we communicate with and write to each other. So that is really cool. And if that's something you want to participate in, then please head over to Patreon. But I hope that by the end of the year here, I can reach my first goal setting, which will be around achieving $50 per month on Patreon. So I really hope that I'll be able to achieve that, because at the end of the day, the more support I get on Patreon, the more likely it is that I can keep justifying doing these videos and running this channel. But in addition as well, I'm also really looking forward to some of the later steps in my goal setting on Patreon, because that is where I will get into being able to hire somebody to do video production with me and really up the quality of the videos. So yeah, I really hope that's something that will succeed. So that's it for this half. So in about 6 months there will be another video of this type where I will follow up on my second half goals and also set some new goals for the first half of 2018. So if this is your first time here, then do make sure to subscribe, and there will be fantasy videos every single Monday. So stay safe out there, and thank you for watching.